My fiancé said, "Don't call me your future husband." I nodded. That night, I quietly removed my name from every guest list he'd made. 2 days later, he walked into lunch and froze at what waited on his chair. "Stop introducing me as your future husband." Derek's breath hit my face. Scotch and contempt. We were at the Black Caucus Gala. Chandeliers, senators, the kind of room where handshakes cost 6 figures. "It makes me look like I settled," he said, straightening his tie. "Look at you, Simone. You blend into the wallpaper. Stand over there." He pointed to the wall like I was furniture. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just smiled. "Understood," I said. He turned his back and walked toward Senator Vance, smoothing his expensive suit jacket, the suit I paid for. I walked out of the gala early, took my town car, left Derek to figure out his own ride home. In the back seat, I made a single phone call. "Nia, initiate clean slate protocol for Derek Evans. Effective immediately." My second in command didn't hesitate. She'd been waiting for this call. "The black card? Terminate it before midnight. It's a supplementary card on my personal account. Let him find out at breakfast." "The penthouse? Change the entry codes. Lock him out of the smart home system." "The meeting with the city council chairman? Cancel it. Tell them Mr. Evans no longer meets the financial requirements." I hung up. Derek thought I was his assistant. He had no idea I owned the Vesper Group, the consulting firm that secretly funded his entire political career. For 3 years, I'd been invisible. Tonight, I'd stay invisible, but my absence would be deafening. 2 days later, Derek was hosting a power brunch at the Hamilton, his big campaign launch for city council. He'd invited everyone: Senator Vance, the lobbyists, the developers, his family. He wanted to prove he was the future of DC leadership. The invitation arrived at my office by courier. Cream envelope, gold lettering. There was a handwritten note from Senator Vance. "I know you usually stay behind the scenes, but I've reserved the seat of honor for you, right next to the podium." Senator Vance was my client. Derek didn't know that. I called my legal team. "Is the dossier ready?" "Printed and bound," David said. "The invoices, the eviction notice, the academic fraud records, everything." "Good. Black portfolio. I'll deliver it myself." That morning, I dressed in a white silk suit. Not for Derek. For me. White is the color of endings. I arrived late. The doors swung open just as Derek was mid-speech, sweating through his cheap suit. The room went silent. Every head turned. Senator Vance stood up immediately. So did Julian Thorne, the CEO Derek had been desperately trying to impress. They weren't standing for Derek. They were standing for me. Derek rose at the podium. Then his face shifted. He thought I'd come to apologize. He actually smiled. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced into the microphone, "my fiancée Simone. She has a flair for the dramatic, but she always knows when to come home." I walked past him without a word. I sat at the head table next to Senator Vance. Derek tried to continue his speech, but he was rattled. Then the waiters came. They placed covered dishes in front of each guest, but on Derek's plate, there was no food. There was a thick black envelope. He stared at it, then at me. I sipped my tea, watching. He picked it up, confidence returning. "Looks heavy," he said loudly. Simone always did have a flair for drama. "I assume this is a letter of support." He read the inscription on the front. "To Derek, the man who never settles." He smirked. "You see, she understands now." He ripped it open. Inside wasn't a love letter. It was an invoice. His smile died. "Housing and utility costs, penthouse suite, $180,000. His voice cracked. "Crisis management and legal fees for traffic incident suppression and academic record expungement, $120,000. The room gasped. Total amount due immediately, $450,000. The paper slipped from his hands. Behind it was his academic transcript from law school, the failing grade in ethics, the bribe I paid to cover it up, the evidence he'd been practicing law illegally for 3 years. Senator Vance stood up, his chair scraping. Derek's boss did the same. They weren't standing in respect this time. They were walking out. I stood, smoothing my white suit. I walked to the center of the room and looked up at Derek on his pathetic stage. "You were right," I said, my voice amplified and clear. "You were settling. You settled for a woman who paid your rent, covered your crimes, and made you look successful." I pulled out a silver key, his key to the penthouse, and dropped it on the floor.
Full story on channel link below.